मालिक आवाज रेडियो रियाज 96.8 मेगाहर्ट्ज.
Creativity,
ideas,
innovation,
change,
leadership,
development,
youth in entrepreneurship. Only on
Radio Reeyaz 96.8 megahertz.
Youth in Entrepreneurship comes to you every Sunday 5 to 6 p.m. The main objective of Youth in Entrepreneurship is to promote innovative ideas. We feature people who are creative and who crave for freedom, much more than stability and security. The powerful earthquake that hit the nation on 25th April and 12th May 2015 has taken away 8,691 lives. 22,054 people are injured and thousands of houses have been fully destroyed. People are facing real problems. However, where there are problems, there are solutions as well. Organizations and individuals have joined their hands and have tried to reach out to as many people as they can. But proper efficiency seems to be lacking due to poor coordination among themselves. It is time to think about the long-term and sustainable ideas for a better future of the nation. In today's episode, we have Monica Niraula, who is the coordinator of Sahyog Nepal project under Santosh Shah Foundation, SSF. She's also a student at Lafayette College, US. Santosh Shah Foundation is organizing Disaster-Resistant Household Engineering Competition 2015 in order to identify innovative disaster-resistant housing and construction technology suited to the topography of Himalayan hill and Tarai region. We'll talk more about this, but first let me welcome our beautiful guest Monica on the show.
Thank you. Namaste.
So how have you been, Monica?
I've been fine. Thank you. What about you?
I've been good too. Thank you so much. So you've recently gone to the different affected areas. So how has your experience been there?
It's been a rewarding as well as a challenging experience. To sum it up, I would say, well, it was rewarding because I went to Haibung BDC in Sindhupalchok, and the work that we did there was we just helped the people build their houses. And so far we built 2 houses in Haibung, which was a very, very rewarding experience. But the challenge was that we were not able to work as closely with the local people from the village as we wanted to. But we're looking into how we can solve it in the future.
So Monica, how have you been associated with Santosh Shah Foundation?
I was associated, well, I knew Santosh Shah from Nepal's Top 7 Debaters as I was a participant, and I approached him after the earthquake and told him about my ideas, and he jumped on it immediately and was like, well, I'm also getting involved in earthquake relief efforts, so let's do this together, and that's how I've been associated.
So what is the main idea behind organizing disaster-resistant household engineering competition?
Well, the main idea behind the competition is to get our young people to think about how we can help ourselves instead of relying on foreign aid and relief by the international community. I think it's very important for the youth within the country who understand our local needs better to think for themselves and see how we can build better houses and construct better things instead of focusing on an international community which might not be well aware of the disasters that we face. So since we've been living through it, I think the main idea is that to get the youth thinking as to how we can help construct better houses.
So what kind of participation are you expecting for this competition?
I am actually expecting a huge participation from not just engineers, since construction is directly linked to engineers, but youth from different sectors who have various ideas about construction.
Okay, so why is there an age limit of 20 to 30 years old for this competition?
Santosh Shah Foundation mainly focuses on empowering youth and youth organizations, and I think 20 to 30 is a very creative age, and also this age group has not very much been given much attention, so I think it's a very wonderful opportunity for young people of that age to come to the limelight and show their creativity.
So very well. So Santosh Shah Foundation basically focuses on empowering the younger generation.
Yep.
And it is said that the educational qualification does not matter for entering this competition, and it is an open competition. So why do you think the educational qualification is not very important?
Well, as I mentioned earlier, when someone talks about construction, people directly link it to engineers, but we don't want to focus on just engineers, but also people beyond the engineering field. Also, I think there are a lot of young minds in rural Nepal that might not have gotten educational opportunities, but they do have ideas. So I think this an educational barrier would be an obstruction for those people who have ideas but wouldn't be able to participate if there was a criteria regarding education.
Okay, the educational background is not much of a barrier in this competition. Yes, we are talking about disaster resistant household engineering competition. You're listening to 96.8 Nepali ko Awaz Radio Reeyaz. My name is Avilasha Raemaji, and today on Youth and Entrepreneurship we are talking about disaster resistant household engineering competition 2015 organized by Santosh Shah Foundation, and we have Monica Niraula to talk with us about the competition. And Monica, welcome back.
Thank you.
So we were talking about how Santosh Shah Foundation encourages young, innovative youth leaders and youth organization, and what the competition is all about. Now, moving ahead, how can participant apply for this competition?
Participants can go to the Santosh Shah Foundation page on Facebook, and we have application forms available there that they can download and fill, and they can submit it. They can also directly contact the office of Santosh Shah Foundation, which is in Anamnagar, and that's how they can apply.
Okay, it's very easy. If you want to participate, you can just go to Facebook and log on to www.facebook.com Santosh Shah Foundation, and you will get the details of the competition out there. Now, I would also like to ask you about what are the rewards and the opportunities that the participant will be receiving.
We have two rewards for the participants. One will be a cash prize of rupees 40,000 for each participant, for each winner from each category, which will be the mountain region, hill region, and Tarai region. So each winner will be receiving 40,000 cash prize. And another reward will be they will be featured in Future Leaders, which is a production of Santosh Shah Foundation and is broadcast on NTV Plus.
Okay, very well. It's a great opportunity for young engineers and whoever have relevant ideas, feasible ideas, to participate in this competition. It's very easy to participate. You just need to fill a form, and you need to have a great idea to participate in this competition. And I would encourage all the young engineers and young leaders who have relevant ideas that can help us in this time of adversity and crisis. So you are also here for your own project. So would you elaborate about what the basic idea is about your project and how are you coordinating it?
Well, for Sahayog Nepal, we are basically at the moment focusing on shelter. and we want to build earthquake resistant shelters as far as possible. And the main idea is to go with a team of our own to a community and work very closely with the local community, have a team from the local community that we will train as to how to build these earthquake resistant houses by providing them hands-on training. And so we will be building a few houses ourselves so they can learn from us, and after that they can lead the project in their own villages. So we will also be supplying building materials as necessary.
So how did this idea come to you about doing this project?
Well, as soon as I heard about the earthquake in Nepal and the devastation that it caused, I wanted to do something. So first I started raising funds in my own school, and then I realized the problems with a lot of organizations in Nepal where you can send the money, but it sometimes does not reach the people who actually need it. So what I thought was, why not go to Nepal myself and organize something? So first I wanted to focus on relief, but research led me to believe that giving people rice bags or YY packets was not very effective. So I wanted to focus on long term, and when I traveled Sindhu Palchok, I saw complete devastation of entire villages. There are no houses left standing, so I thought, why not focus on shelter for now and build as many houses as possible for people.
That's a very novel idea.
Thank you.
And now, how did you carry your research, and how did you wanted to do something for the long term? How did this idea strike to you?
Well, I must say it was a result of a lot of research, but after I went to Haibung and Sindhu Palchok, as I mentioned earlier, and I had to trek a lot through the whole. I traveled around Sindhu Palchok area a lot, and I did see, as I mentioned, villages are completely left to rubble. So I thought I was on the right track.
So you've just arrived from US. It's not been many days. So how do you plan to implement your idea, and how do you plan to get volunteers to work on your ideas?
Well, one idea that I have is I'm planning to approach engineering colleges themselves and ask for a class so that they can send the class on a field trip, which will be hands-on training on construction for civil engineers, and it will be beneficial to both parties, to the college as well as to us, because we will have volunteers and their students will get some training. But I think a challenge to that is people have missed a lot of classes, so that's one challenge that we will have to work around. And we're also asking for volunteers through Santosh Shah Foundation, and any independent people who want to be involved in the project can contact me or Santosh Shah Foundation.
We are talking about Disaster Resistant Household Engineering Competition 2015, and we are also talking about the project that she's doing in Nepal. Now, Monica, welcome back.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you, what is the message that this competition is trying to relay?
Well, after a disaster, there's definitely a lot of tragedy, but I think it's now time to focus on how to rebuild and how to reconstruct Nepal. So we're trying to divert the young people's attention to how to build a better future for Nepal and how to do it on a long-term basis instead of just focusing on providing immediate relief to people. So we want to get young people to think about focusing on the future.
So this competition is for building the permanent houses or temporary houses. What kind of housing is this competition basically focusing on?
Well, we're focusing on sustainable housing, which will be permanent, and we're focusing also on how to build toilets. So we'll be accepting ideas for building toilets, as well as for electricity and water resources, so how we can reach them to villages effectively, and people can focus on how to combat disasters, not only but including earthquakes, but also fires and thunderstorms, floods, and all those kinds of stuff.
So this housing should not only be earthquake resistant but also other disasters.
Yep.
So now I would also like to ask you about who are your local partners and who are you collaborating with?
Well, we're asking for participants who will and we are not focusing on the international community, but we are looking for local people who are willing to participate in this competition. So we will be mainly collaborating with young individual participants as well as youth organizations who would like to participate.
Okay, very well. Now I would also want to know, what are your future plans and how are your studies going on?
Well, my studies are going okay. They're tough as usual. As for future plans, I am thinking of extending this project for a longer term and focusing not only on shelter but also on public infrastructure like schools, and in places where schools are available but children are unwilling to go to school, so focusing on how we can encourage these children to go to school, or in providing scholarships to children in rural areas that cannot afford to go to school. So mainly focusing on rural Nepal and focusing on how we can impact any area.
So why do you say that you want to focus on rural Nepal?
Well, I think that's where I see need the most, and that is not to say that Kathmandu or Pokhara or Chitwan does not have needs, but regarding especially where it's geographically very hard to get, like from my experience in Sindhupalchok, I had to walk for 7 hours to get to a place where I could get a vehicle to come back to Kathmandu. So these areas are very unreachable geographically, so people are unwilling to go there, and I think that's where people need help the most.
So you've reached Sindhupalchok now. Is that only your focus area for your personal project, or where do you plan to reach?
Well, I am looking to go anywhere where the local community is willing to collaborate with me, because for me to go with a team of 10 people and then have them work as laborers is going to be very difficult if we're going to be building 2 houses in a week. So we want to make it very fast. So I'm willing to go anywhere where the local community is willing to collaborate. And right now I'm looking to go to Salle and Khotang.
Okay, so why particularly Salle from Khotang?
Well, it's where my mother's side of the family comes from, so people from there everyone is willing to collaborate and everyone's willing to help each other build their houses and work together, so it's going to be really fast and really easy for me to work, so that's why I'm doing Salle.
Okay, now I would also like to know how your college, you also did fundraising in your own college in USA. So how did people perceive you? Were there other group of people who were collaborating with you in your project, or was it just your own individual thing?
Well, in my college, we have a very small Nepali community, which is limited to just 4 people. So, of course, the Nepali people were helping me out. And I also had the International Student Association in my college, which was very helpful. The administration of the college was really helpful. Regarding fundraising among students, it was, I got a mixed response, which is to be expected. There were people who were very sympathetic and wished me the best. And there were people who, I did a fundraising at a bar. And there were people who walked past me and did not even recognize my presence. And there were people, if I asked them, would you like to donate to earthquake relief in Nepal, they responded with, for Nepal, absolutely not. So yeah, there was a mixed response.
So why do you think people were hesitant to, donate?
I think there are some people who have never seen need or pain or have never experienced tragedy and did not know what it is to live without a house, without food, and with doubts in your mind as to whether or not you're going to survive tomorrow. So these people, it's very hard to relate, I feel, for these people. So I think that's one of the reasons why they were hesitant.
So, how did you basically raise funds? Did you do any programs or what did you do?
Well, we had one of my father's friends helped us out in the initial stage. He did some fundraising in his office, which is humanitarian response for I'm sorry, I think I'm forgetting the name.
It's okay.
For transboundary.
Yeah, okay. It was an organization that you're... Okay.
So it was humanitarian assistance for trans-border disease. So yeah, he did some fundraising for us, and I did some fundraising at my school. And I also collaborated with Truman University in Missouri, which provided me with some funds.
So that is really thoughtful of you to do so much for for our country, for the nation, and we're really very happy to have young people like you. And so, how do you plan to, motivate other young people who are your generation to contribute in rebuilding Nepal?
Well, I feel like setting an example is a very good way of encouraging other people, and I am also requesting people to join me in my efforts so we can do this together, because this is not just for me, it's for all of us. So, and yeah, I think that's about it.
So how long will you be staying in Nepal and doing the works?
I'll be here for 2 months, but I have my friends who are willing to take the responsibility once I leave the country.
She's talking about how to motivate young people to contribute for rebuilding Nepal, and she's also doing it herself, and she's also volunteering in South Asia Foundation. She's helping in this competition called Disaster Resistant Household Engineering Competition, and we are calling out participants to participate in this competition and to be innovative, to be creative, and to do something to the nation. Now, Monica, welcome back. We are talking about disaster resistant household engineering competition, and also we are talking a little bit about your personal experiences as well here. So how has your experience been in collaborating with the local people?
Well, it's been a mixed experience. Like, my friends who I talked to about the project jumped on it, and I asked them to wait for a week till I got to Nepal, but they were already in Sindhupalchok by the time I landed here. But right now, with schools starting to open up, I am having a shortage of volunteers, and so yeah, I think that's a huge problem.
So if you are interested to volunteer, then definitely you can contact Santosh Shah Foundation or Monica directly also. And what do you think is the responsibility of young people? How can we actually contribute in this project and also in rebuilding Nepal as a whole?
I think as young people of Nepal, we have a lot of energy in us and a lot of creativity in us. So Nepal at this time needs both energy and creativity. As I mentioned, Nepal is very geographically difficult to travel. So there is a huge need of young people who are willing to travel that extra mile and walk that extra hill and get to these villages and help the people build houses or anything else that they need help with. Because even in villages, young people have left the village and they're working abroad. So it's human resources very much lacking in these places, and I think young people need to go there. Also, relief efforts are very uncoordinated at the moment because young people, organizations, the international community are all working independently. So I think the youth's role has to be in bringing and connecting these people together, so young people can act as that connective link between the international organizations, international community, between local organizations and independent groups that are working in disaster relief, so we can all work together and speed things up.
Yes, we can definitely work together and speed things up for better Nepal. And talking about the competition again, so when is the deadline? Till when can participants, apply for this competition?
Participants can apply within 15th of June or by date 32. And the deadline is a little fluid because of the situation right now. So as for now, the deadline is June 15.
Okay, the deadline is June 15. So engineers, young engineers and individuals, if you have relevant ideas regarding making sustainable houses and buildings, infrastructures, please do contact and do apply for this competition. Now, I think we are almost at the end of the program, and I've asked you so many questions. So it's your turn. If you have any questions, you can shoot.
I do have a question. What motivated you to start this show?
Thank you so much, Monica. For me, I always felt that there is a gap, between media and young people, and young people are not really doing what they are supposed to do, or they're not being encouraged or guided properly. So I wanted to start with a platform that would bring young people, and then they would encourage other people to other aspiring ones. So with that idea, I started this platform, Youth in Entrepreneurship, and with God's grace, it's been well received by everyone. I've had really good reviews from people, so it's been a very good journey for me, for my personal growth as well. So that is how I started it.
I must congratulate you on the success, and it's a great platform for young people, and I must thank you for having me here today.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for coming and doing the great works that you've been doing. I wish you all the best and all the success for your project.
Thank you so much, and it's my pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much, Monica. That was Monica Niraula, and we were talking about Disaster Resistant Household Engineering Competition 2015, which is organized by Santosh Shah Foundation. And at the end of the show, we would like to thank our technical support, Kamalji, and we would also like to thank Santosh Giri, who is the coordinator for this competition, which is organized by Santosh Shah Foundation. Thank you so much for listening to Youth in Entrepreneurship. We'll be back next week. This is me, Avilasha Raimaji, signing off for today. We'll be back next week with yet another amazing guest on our show. Keep listening to Radio Reeyaz 96.8.